Welcome back to my channel, or to my channel if you're here for the first time. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the pattern for this box crop top. Pinterest, oh Pinterest, oh Pinterest. Thank you, Oge, for introducing me to Pinterest, as I really can't remember what my life was like before Pinterest. I get lots of designs I want to recreate from Pinterest, as well as inspirations as to how to make my own designs on certain things whenever I feel like designing. So all props goes to the originator of the design for this top, which is not me, full disclosure. Now, I know I must have said this before, but one of the joys of learning how to sew, at least in my opinion, is being able to recreate a design that you see and want to wear. But not only that, but also being able to adjust it to suit your body type. And what I've done with this pattern making is that I have increased the neckline of mine just because I wanted a little bit more coverage at the neckline. So go ahead and grab all your grabbables and let's get started. But before you do, have you subscribed yet? Okay, I'm going to give you 2 seconds to subscribe. Fantastic. Now we can start. My name is Ijeoma and welcome to my sewing diary. The materials you will need are your dartless bodice pattern. Link on my video of how to make this will be in the description box below. You'll also need your paper, gum or masking tape, pen, marker or pencil, tracer wheel, curved ruler, pins, paper, scissors, short ruler, long ruler, measuring tape and extra pattern paper. I'll also drop the full list in the description box below. Starting with the front pattern, measure the length of your front armhole like so and record. FS is for front sleeve. This will be used when making the sleeve. Go down 2 inches from the waistline and rule across. This is your new hem. And then connect the bottom armhole to the new hem with a straight line like so. Now, to give it a boxy feel, we're going to be extending our original center front by 1 inch. And then depending on the size of your bottom, you will now need to add button allowances. So I used a 1 inch wide bottom, so I added another 1 inch for the button allowance, a further 1 inch to cover the button allowance, and half an inch for seam allowance. So go ahead and label like so. Extend your hem with a straight line to include the extension, button allowances and seam allowance, and also extend your across chest line for reference only. From your bust point, mark your bust radius and extend in a straight line to the extended center front. This will act as a guide with the creation of your new neckline. From the top armhole, measure how wide you want your shoulder length to be. I used 4 inches. And then redraw your new neckline with your curved ruler like so. Now I wanted mine to be at the bust radius mark, but you can decide to go below the bust radius line if you want yours to show some cleavage as in the original picture. Extend the bust radius line in a straight line to the button allowances and seam allowance lines like so. Go ahead and add a ½ inch seam allowance at the side, armhole and neckline, and at the hem, add a 2 to 2.5 inch hem allowance. I used 2 inches in my case. Now remember to bend about 1 inch of the hem allowance and reinforce side lines like so for a better folded hem. Outline and cut off all excess paper. Label your pattern. You'll be cutting 2 pieces of your center front. And remember to cancel out your waist dart as you will not be sewing this. While sewing, I realized I made a mistake in my first front facing and had to redo it. So this clip was actually made during my sewing process, hence the somewhat rough paper. So to make the front facing, go ahead and place and pin pattern paper underneath your new neckline, and starting from the shoulder line, go down 2 inches from the original neckline like so, up till the end of the seam allowance line. Connect the points with your curved ruler at the neckline and straight ruler at the allowance lines like so. Trace out your facing as drawn and to include all seam allowances already included. Outline your traced marks, add seam allowance at the bottom, and then remove all excess paper and label your front facing. You'll be cutting 2 pieces of this. For the back pattern, transfer your shoulder dart to your armhole by drawing a line from the tip of your shoulder dart to any point on the armhole. Slash through the new line to the tip of the shoulder dart and then close your shoulder dart. This will cause the armhole to increase. Redraw your shoulder line and then place extra pattern paper underneath the wider armhole and redraw your armhole with your curved ruler like so. Measure the length of your back armhole for the back sleeve and note down. From the top armhole, mark your back shoulder length same as your front. Recall I used 4 inches. And then redraw your back neckline with your curved ruler like so. Mark 2 inches down from your waistline for your new hem and rule across the back pattern. And then connect the bottom armhole to your new hem with a straight line like so. Now, if you've used my method of tracing, you should have a 1-inch zipper allowance at the center back. This will act as your back extension and give the top that loose box effect, so label as so. Add 1 inch to your center back if not included. Also cancel out your back waist dart as you will not be sewing it. Add a 1/2 inch seam allowance at the neckline, armhole and side, and a 2 to 2.5 inch seam allowance at the hem, remembering to prepare the side hem as you did the front. Go ahead and label your pattern. You'll be cutting your center back on fold. To create your back facing, place extra pattern paper underneath your new neckline and mark 2 inches down from the actual neckline at the shoulder point to the center back. Connect all points with your curved ruler and trace with your tracer wheel, including all seam allowances. Remove the extra pattern paper, outline puncture holes and label. You'll be cutting your back facing on fold. To create the sleeve, mark 2 inches down from the top edge of a square piece of paper and rule across the length of the paper. This is your top line. Also locate the center of the paper by folding in 2 and outlining the line. Label your top line like so. Calculate your bicep line by adding your front and back sleeves that you recorded, dividing the sum by 3 and then subtracting 0.5. Mark your bicep line down from the top line, rule across your paper and label. And also mark your desired sleeve length, and that is where you want the sleeve to stop, from the top line and rule across the paper. I use 9 inches for that. Label this your full sleeve length. Where the vertical line intersects with the top line is called the crown. So measure out the length of your back sleeve from the crown to touch the bicep line on the left hand side and connect the crown with a straight line. Do the same on the right hand side for the front sleeve. On each side, mark the midpoints of the lines you have just drawn. From the midpoint marks, mark 1/2 inch up on the left hand side and 1/2 inch down on the right hand side. And then connect the 1/2 inch points to the crown and bicep lines like so to create a triangle. Further mark midpoints of each new lines drawn and 3/8 inches on each side of the crown. And then on the left hand side, go up 3/8 inches from the mid mark above and down to 8 inches from the mid-mark below. On the right hand side, go up 5/8 inches from the mid-mark above and down 3/8 inches from the mid-mark below. You'll be connecting the points with your curved ruler like so. Extend the ends of the front and back sleeve at the bicep line down to the full sleeve line in a straight line like so. Add a 1/2 inch seam allowance at the sleeve head and side, and at the hem, add a 2 to 2.5 inch hem allowance, remembering to fold at the side hem like you did the bodice. In my case, I added a 2 inch hem allowance. Now make sure to indicate the back and front of each side. I used 2 strokes for the back and 1 for the front. Go ahead and label your sleeve piece. You'll be cutting 2 pieces of this. And you're done with making the pattern. Now in my next video, next week, Friday, 10 a.m. West African time, I'll be putting the patterns together to make the finished top. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. And also give this video a like just because you can. And let me know if you have any questions whatsoever in the comment section below. So until next week, see you later. Bye.